introduction, I want to introduce to you Ralph Hood.
Thanks, sir. Yeah, I was sitting over there and I noticed he made that crack about my hair. Bob Seiler laughed louder than anybody in the room. Look at the hair on his head. He looks just like Tip O'Neill, you know. And he got up here, got to talking, I thought it was Tip O'Neill, you know. But seriously, what he doesn't, you know, he did not hurt my feelings, really. I figured this out years ago. God gave all of us men an equal amount of male hormones. Seiler wants to use his to grow hair. That is fine with me. See, what he doesn't know is in the Hood family, my name's Ralph Hood, and in the Hood family, all the men get bald-headed real young, just like I did. Then we live forever. That is a good deal. Seriously. My father had an uncle, the old boy lived to be 116. When he was 96, his wife went to get a physical. The doctor did the checkup, sent her back out to the waiting room. 5 minutes later, he walked out, got her by the elbow, took her right back, did the same checkup all over again. Got through and looked her straight in the face and said, "Hattie, I don't know exactly how to tell you this, but you are expecting." She said, "Doctor, my husband is 96. He said, "Hattie, I don't care if he's 196. You are in a family way." She said, "Well, I'm going to call my husband up and tell him so." He said, "I'd tell him gently." She called him up, 96-year-old man said, "You old goat, you got me pregnant." He said, "Who is this?" I want Seiler to know that that old boy did not have a hair on his head. And I want the rest of y'all to know, in case anybody's worried, that was the dirty joke right there. I got it out of the way now, so you don't have to worry any more about that. I want to say my name is Ralph Hood from Huntsville, Alabama. I want to tell you that. Just not everybody in Alabama, regardless of what you might think, is a redneck. Now, I know why you think we are. Every one of you saw the Clarence Thomas hearings on TV a little over 3 years ago. And that means you saw our fine Alabama senator, the Honorable Howell Heflin, make a total fool out of himself in front of... Seriously, if y'all saw that, you know there really is at least one senator up there who honestly, sincerely believes that Roe versus Wade is 2 different ways to get across the Potomac. Yeah. I mean, I think the old boy still believes to this day that Bush's first name was Anheuser. You know? And I run around the country picking on him. I tell that to you, and people come up and say, aren't you worried about picking on your own senator? Aren't you? No, I'm not scared to do that. This is a free country. I'll pick on whoever I want to. Except for Murphy Brown. I ain't gonna mess with that woman at all. See, she is dangerous. And by the way, I want y'all to know that last night I spoke in Texarkana, Arkansas. And I told them a story about our fine Alabama senator, the Honorable Howell Heflin. And after it was over, a fellow said, "Mr. Hood, you don't need to come from Alabama to Arkansas to tell us about a local politician going off to Washington and embarrassing the whole state." I don't know what he was talking about, y'all. Let me say a little bit about that introduction. He mentioned I'm Presbyterian. Actually, I grew up Methodist. How many Methodists we got here? A bunch of Methodists. Got one right over here, Mr. Small's Methodist. Well, let me tell you, I grew up Methodist. I was totally happy with the Methodist church until I got older and got a family and got some responsibilities, and that's when I found out what the difference is. You might not know this, Small, but those Methodists stand up in church and say, "Forgive us our trespasses." Folks, I found out the Presbyterians saying, "Forgive us our debts." And I'm going to tell you the truth, I never was all that big on trespassing. And Mr. Small, if you're in for it, that's fine with me. I got nothing against it. No, I changed on the spot. I became Presbyterian. And you know, I go all over this country talking. I get up north, And I get talking, and I say Methodist and Presbyterian. About that time, they lean over and say, that old boy's from Alabama. He belongs to one of those weird churches down there. Got snakes and people rolling on the aisles. And I tell them the weird churches are not down south. California. Yeah, who's Catholic? We got the Catholics at the head table? Now I'm saying, where's the Catholic down there? What's your name, ma'am? Nikki. That's a good Italian name for short for Nicole, you know. Did you know, Nikki, that on the West Coast there's a Catholic church with a drive-through confessional booth? Seriously, I mean, that'd save you some time, Nikki. Look, see, it looks just like McDonald's got a lane over here, and they go through it. Actually, it's got 2 lanes, got an express lane over here for people with 7 sins or less. Nikki, that one wouldn't help you much at all. But seriously, they got a good deal. See out there, the Catholics, Nick, they go through this first lane, they go up to this window and tell it all to the priest. See, confess. Go to the next window, get them a sausage biscuit. They through for the day. And they advertise it. They're proud of the drive-through confessional booth. Got them a big neon sign up there that blinks. Says, toot and tell or go to hell. Not my church. That's Nikki's church. But you know, I spent most of my adult life selling airplanes for a living. I had a chance to combine that with the church work one time. I gave my preacher a ride from Huntsville down to Montgomery in one of those little airplanes like we sold. Wouldn't y'all think that a preacher would be totally calm in an airplane with all that faith they all the time bragging about? I would have. My preacher got that airplane and shut both eyes and grabbed the armrest and just sat there and quivered like this. After a while, he opened one eye and looked out the window. He said, my Lord, from up here the people look like ants. I said, preacher, those are ants. We ain't took off yet. Didn't help. He sat like this all the way to Montgomery, and we got out of the airplane. I said, I'm going to preach at him, and I did. I said, preacher, it does seem to me that you were a tad nervous on that flight. He said, no, I wasn't. I was scared slapped to death. I had him then. I pulled me a lesson right out of the Bible. I said, preacher, I don't know why you'd be fearful on that trip when you know full well that the good book says, I am with you always. He said, no, it does not. It says, lo, I am with you always. I looked it up. That's what it says, you know. Hey, let me ask something. How y'all think I did on that always?